the 3R technique to not only improve your fluency but also to improve your vocabulary. When you improve your speaking fluency and you improve your vocabulary with it, that means you are becoming a master at English speaking. All of the areas of your speaking are covered, and this technique does it for you. Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English and improving your English speaking skills with me. Today, I am going to tell you something that is going to improve your overall English, your speaking skills, your vocabulary. Everything is going to get covered with this powerful 3R technique. And then there is a bonus step at the end. So watch it till the end. So this particular technique, 3R technique, will help you improve your vocabulary. You're gonna speak fluent English. What are we waiting for? Are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA-certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. Before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you can get all the lessons that I post for you on this channel. Please like the video and share it with friends too. Now coming back to today's lesson, that is the 3R technique. Now each R stands for a particular step which can be 5 to 10 minutes depending on how much time you can give. Now, let's begin with the R number 1, which is to read. Read is very important because this is the step which will allow us to move forward with the later 2 steps, which are very crucial for your speaking and your vocabulary, learning the new words. Now, reading will act as a base. Reading will provide you with English. Reading will provide you with content because we need some kind of content to learn, right? So what we are doing is we are taking a particular book which is relevant to our level. For example, you are at B1 level. You need to take something that's easy. You're at B2 level. You can go to something that's a bit complex, and then you have to select something according to your level. It can be a novel, it can be a magazine. You have to read 2 pages. 2 pages. Now, 2 pages are enough to provide you the necessary sentences, the new words, and also to revise the known words. For example, you know a lot of words already, but you're not using them. They are not in active usage. Now, when you'll interact with that word again, it will become stronger in your memory so that you can retrieve it and you can use it. So this particular step is very important for that. You are reading everything and this will help you a lot. Now, I want to tell you something, how reading works. You're reading same words, same things again and again. And over the time, things becomes easier. How do they become easier? I'm going to give you my example, right? You know, I love literature. You know, I've done English honors. That means I've read a lot of books. And I have read books with a lot of different level of English. Language is always changing. Language is always going through some changes. So I have read the Shakespearean English, which is Old English. And I've also read the contemporary and the modern day English. Everything. Now, when I was in grade 9th, my English teacher at the time suggested me to read Pride and Prejudice. Well, that was something that was a kind of suggestion for the whole class. But I remember it was just me and one of my friend. She also bought the particular novel, Pride and Prejudice. We had this book fair which was organized in our school. And that particular book is something that we bought because I used to love reading, you know, and I wanted to learn more. So that particular book was recommended to us to improve our reading and also the knowledge of literature to both. And I remember when I was in grade 9th, that particular book was a bit difficult for me to read. Now, when I read that book again in my English honors first semester, at that particular time, it was quite easy for me to read. I was able to understand it more. I was able to understand the vocabulary more. because I was reading it for the third time. I read it twice before. Once when I was in grade ninth and I was not able to understand that much of the difficult vocabulary which was there. I read it again, and through all these 3 to 4 years, I think I have interacted a lot with English and I would have expanded my horizons. Now, when I was doing English honors, everything was coming naturally. I was even able to understand the storyline in a different way, because when you do something like English honors, there's a whole lot new perspective to the characters, to the plot, and everything. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the language. And in language, I realized that the vocabulary is now easy for me, just like a piece of cake. So when you read something and you read more, it becomes easier to understand. And that is why this particular stage number 1, read, is important. So you are supposed to read 2 pages of fiction, non-fiction, novel, magazine, whatever you want, whatever you like, the genre you like, select that and read 2 pages. Now, the step number 2, R number 2, triple R, right? 3R. Now, step number 2, R number 2 is to repeat. Repeat means repeating whatever you have read. Not word to word, obviously, because how can you repeat everything word to word? It would take a lot of memorization. And we are not memorizing the language. We are becoming natural at the language. And to do that, you have to repeat everything in your own words. It's kind of summarizing whatever you have read in your own words. Now, this would allow you to use the language that you have read immediately. You're putting it to use. And this is going to help you learn whatever you have read. It is going to also help you retain the structures that you have read for a longer period of time, because you've already put your mind to use it. You have put your mouth muscles to use the language that you have just consumed, the language that you've taken in as input. So that is why it's important for you to summarize. Spend at least 5 minutes, because if you're reading 2 pages, I think you require minimum 5 minutes to summarize everything that you've read. Do not go back and read it once again in between. The reading stage is done now. It's done. It's time to speak. Whatever you can recall at that particular time, you have to speak. Summarize in your own words. You have to use your own words. That means whatever language bank you have with you. Language bank means the words, the phrases, the sentences, the structures of a language that you can use. That's there in your mind. For example, if I ask you to speak Spanish right now and you do not know anything about Spanish, that means you have 0 language bank in Spanish. And you have a lot of language bank in English if you're speaking it. So you have to use that language bank to create content on your own. Now let's move on to the third R. Last R of this particular technique, that is to research. What are you going to research? Well, you're going to research about all the new words. You came across certain new words while you were reading, right? Now, in this particular stage, you have to research. You have to underline the words while you were reading. I didn't mention it at that particular time because it would have been confusing. So now I'm mentioning that when you're reading, underline the difficult words at that particular time so that you can research later on. In this particular step, that is the third R. You have to research the words. That means you have to research about the meaning, the usage, and the context. Again, I would emphasize on the context. So any kind of lesson of mine related to vocabulary, I have a lot of lessons that you can check out, right? So these lessons, they revolve around the context. I'm not just telling you the meaning and the word and just example sentences. I'm explaining you the context. And context means a lot, because without context, you will not be able to use the word, speak the word, because it's used in a particular situation. So find out at least 5 new words. record them. You can use a particular journal, right? Like I have with me my journal. You can use a journal, you can use a vocabulary diary. I talk about the vocabulary diary a lot in my videos, and if you want, you can refer to all the videos. Vocabulary diary is something that is a must to keep with you, to record everything, because if you do not record, it'll go out of your mind, it'll go out of usage. When you record it, you are re-emphasizing the particular word within you, within the memory. So that is why it's important. Record it and then use it. In your speaking practice, in your conversations, use them. Use the words. You're learning them to use them. So go use them. This is the particular technique, the 3R technique, to not only improve your fluency, but also to improve your vocabulary. When you improve your speaking fluency and you improve your vocabulary with it, that means you are becoming a master at English speaking. All of the areas of your speaking are covered. And this technique does it for you. So what are you waiting for? Start taking up the technique from today. That's it, everybody. That is it. Before going, please subscribe the channel, like the video, share it as much as possible. I'm gonna meet you again with a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.